It's Holy Week, and we're tracing Jesus' footsteps the last few days of his life. Today is Holy Wednesday. You may also hear it referred to as Spy Wednesday. Other than Jesus, we have two main characters, Judas and Mary. Now, Jesus is with many of his disciples. Often when we think about Jesus' disciples, we think about the 12 men. But Jesus actually had many disciples, and many of those were women. So don't just imagine 12 men with Jesus here. They're actually having dinner at the home of Lazarus, Mary and Martha. If you remember Lazarus, he is the one that Jesus raised from the dead. Martha and Mary are his two sisters. Mary proceeds to take this very expensive jar of perfume and pours it on Jesus' head. Judas speaks up and is like, hey, instead of wasting that, wouldn't it be better to sell it and then take the money and give it to the poor? That may sound like a good point, but remember, Jesus knows Judas's heart just as he knows everybody's. John goes on to tell us that Judas wasn't really concerned about the poor. He was in charge of the money box, and all this time he had been taking some money for himself from the money box. So if this money for the perfume was for the poor, placed into the money box, Judas would be able to get a cut of that himself. Now, if we skip back to Matthew 26, we see Judas leave the supper and goes to find the chief priests. And he decides then that he's going to betray Jesus, and he makes a deal with them that he will turn Jesus over to them for 30 pieces of silver. So we have two different people here, Mary and Judas, who both have spent the last 3 years with Jesus. They have each walked with him very closely. They have seen his signs, his miracles. They have heard his teaching, yet they are two totally different people. Mary is worshiping Jesus right up to the end of his life, where Judas is only concerned for himself. So here's what I want you to ponder on today. Are you like Judas? Are you following Jesus because of what he can do for you, or what you can get out of it, or for selfish gain? Or are you like Mary? Are you worshiping Jesus truly because of what he has done for you, because he gave his life for you? Are you willing to give up everything that you have to follow him? That's what Jesus wants. He wants disciples who are willing to completely give their life over to him, to give up all that they have to follow him. Matter of fact, he calls us to do just that. He wants disciples who are willing to pour their most expensive perfume on his head, who will worship him in the good times and the bad times, not just those who are in it for themselves. Tomorrow is Maundy Thursday, which is when Jesus sits down and has his last meal with his disciples. Jesus knew that this was going to be the last time he sat down with his disciples before his crucifixion. Can you imagine how important that teaching is? See you back here tomorrow.